Hey there, I'm Bloom Post. I'll tell you a little story today about how I met Archangel Michael. Um, to me, it's a funny story. Um, I'm guessing about, what is this, 2020? Like we could forget, right? So 2020 this year. I'm maybe 16 years ago or so. I was working with a client. I was actually at their house. For some reason, maybe doing house clearing or something, but I was doing a session with them at their house. And I went to their house, and, I wasn't really into angels at that point in my journey. I mean, I knew who they were. I grew up in the church, so I had that understanding of them. So I either had a church understanding of them, or I had this understanding that was more from like a new age perspective, which never felt resonant for me. It felt really ungrounded and kind of woo. I wasn't really into it at that point. So I didn't really pay much attention to the angels, and I went and sat with someone who was really, really into Archangel Michael. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And they had little angel tchotchkes all around their house or whatever. And so we were beginning the session, and I asked them to close their eyes, and we take some breaths into our belly and just take a moment to settle and drop in. And sometimes I'll close my eyes too. A lot of times I'll close my eyes with the client, and I'll drop in as well and just take that time to breathe into my belly. And they had their eyes closed. I had my eyes closed. And about 60 seconds, 90 seconds into just taking this time to prepare for the work we were getting ready to do, with my eyes closed, this energy came over my head so palpably. I mean, it was tangible. I could hear it, I could feel it, and it was huge. It was like the size of an ocean, and it whooshed over my head so intensely that I actually ducked. I bent forward and ducked down from this energy, and then I looked up to see if the client saw me do it, and they still had their eyes closed, and they were still gathering themselves for the session. And I sat up, and I was really trying to figure out what that was, and went on with what I needed to do. So I leave, and I'm driving home, and this energy that whooshed over my head, I was able to kind of link in and figure out that it was like a wing that went over my head, but it was the size of a freaking ocean, at least. I mean, it was humongous. And so I get home, and I can feel this energy at my house. I can feel it like it's standing behind my house, but it's so big. It's like if it were in human form, if all you could see was maybe a big toe, like just the front of a big toe, because the rest of it's so big, it's absolutely, you can't even see it. It's inconceivable. It's so big. So what went through my head was, this is too big. I can't even talk to whatever this is. It's too big. And I said to this energy, you're freaking me out. You need to come down to talking size. I'd never thought of that phrase before, but now it's something I say quite a bit. Come down to talking size. You're too big. My little human mind can't conceive. So I said, you're freaking me out. Whoever you are, who are you? You're freaking me out, and I need you to come down to talking size. And so this energy got to where it was maybe 100 feet tall or something. It was still pretty big, but I could navigate some kind of understanding of it. And he said, I'm Archangel Michael. And I said, well, dude, you're freaking me out. Like, I mean, I was kind of upset that had been so dramatic. I just felt like it was not cool. And he said, well, this frightens you because this is who you are. Meaning, I'm a reflection of you. I frighten you because I'm who you are. That kind of thing. Not that I'm Archangel Michael, but that, he's a reflection of who I am. that kind of power, that kind of mojo. And that was really humbling. And I decided in that moment that I wanted to get to know him better and wanted to learn from him and understand more what that meant. You know, I didn't want to be frightened of him, and I certainly didn't want to be frightened of my own personal power. So ever since then, I started getting to know Michael really well and creating personal relationship. And then over the years, I got to know other archangels, and I'll talk about that in another video. But I wanted to just share this funny introduction I had to Archangel Michael. Not the only energy in the realms that kind of freaked me out when it first showed up, because they're so big and so powerful, but definitely my introduction to the power of archangels. So I wanted to share that. Thanks for staying tuned to my YouTube channel. Please do subscribe. I appreciate that support. And check out my website, bloompost.com, for monthly activations and all sorts of things that I'm offering regularly. Thanks so much.